Bueno? What are you doing here? Hello, Rowdy Rockers. It is your brother B-DOE. You know, you can hang with me 10 to 3 weekdays here on the mighty, mighty KLBJ. Welcome to your Friday Luya. Very special guests today to help celebrate. We're going to learn a thing or two about cakes. We'll get to that in a second. We're going to be live streaming with you on Facebook for a minute here. If you have any comments or you want to ask any questions to our special guest, I'll try and keep my eyes peeled to get those answered for you. And we're going to be popping on and off on the actual radio as well. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. And we're going to get through it together because it's Friday Luya. Without further ado, please welcome to the KLBJ studios, the queen of hyper-realistic cakes, the mind-blower of modeling chocolate, the high priestess of presentation, the guru of gâteau, the head baker in charge, Miss Natalie Sideserf.
Hello. That was the best intro I've ever had. Thank you.
Ever?
Ever.
And we got Dave in the building, too.
Hello.
Husband Dave.
Is it just husband Dave? I feel so bad now. I'm sorry. Should we start over and I can come up with some...
He's just husband. No, Dave does all the baking. He runs the business. He does all kinds of stuff. But
Everything that doesn't include sculpting cakes is pretty much on me.
For real?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And also, like, a lot of the crazy editing and stuff we were talking, like...
Yeah, exactly.
You have very long hours and staying up through the night.
Yes. Usually from about midnight to 4 a.m. is my shift.
Listening about aliens and stuff.
That's right. I listen to Coast AM almost every night.
I love that. Thank y'all so much for taking the time because personally, I am a humongous fan of what you do with these hyper-realistic cakes and everything. I think it's just being a fan of having my mind blown. Of like seeing something, thinking it's one thing, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, whack! A knife comes into frame and you're like, no, that puppy. Oh, it's a cake. You got me again.
You know, that's really, it's funny because I didn't know that that's where this was all going to go.
Yeah.
When I started making cakes, I'm like, I love hyper-realistic cakes, and I worked with traditional art media before, so I was making all these realistic sculptures, and now it has turned into this, like, you're tricking everybody, and I love the prank, like, element of it. So I'm so happy to hear that. I love it.
Yes, follow along with them at Sideserf Cakes on Instagram and Facebook, and also you do tutorials as well, which is crazy. Stop giving it away for free, Natalie and Dave. Sideserf Cake Studio on the YouTubes as well. We're going to get into that giving it away for free or are people stealing your ideas coming up later. And Natalie actually brought in a little something. I guess Dave baked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Natalie arted it? What'd you do there?
I guess I decorated it, but yeah, arted. Arted works.
Do you consider your craft decoration?
You know,
isn't it like, to
that's a
me,
good
that's
point.
too mellow of a term?
It is. I guess it's cake sculpture, and sometimes people refer to it as like cake art. So yeah, it is. It's more of a fine art for sure. I use that part of my background.
Dude, you are an artiste.
Thank you.
I've never sampled it, Dave. I can only imagine that it has to be somewhat delicious if you're still getting and doing this.
The flavor is almost as important as what it looks like.
Oh, I would say it's equally as important. He's downplaying it. They're delicious.
Yeah.
He does like, it's funny because we always use green buttercream inside the cakes as kind of like a little bit of a marketing thing. So
Okay,
if
that was one of the questions. Hold on to that. Don't tell us all your secrets.
okay,
We're
I
going to
will.
do a little live radio break here in about 30 seconds. But what name nomenclature do you prefer? Like how I kind of went through all of that. That's what I view you and your talents as. But like, how do you like to be introduced?
I guess everybody says cake artist, so I mean,
Doesn't do it justice,
should
Natalie.
we give it a name? Should we give me a new name?
Arter. Cake arter.
Cake arter.
That's not gonna work.
I don't know. The cake arter. All right, let's try this, gang. Hold on a second here.
I'll think about it.
Welcome to it. Welcome to it, Rowdy Rockers. It's your brother B-DOE, live in studio with the cake arter. The queen of hyper-realistic cakes and her husband Dave, Miss Natalie Sideserf. How you doing, Natalie?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's a Friday Luya, so you'll never hear
is.
me complain on a Friday freaking Luya, to be honest with you. And I can't have a better thought of celebrating it than having two Austinites who are doing it huge on a worldwide scale live in studio with me. Briefly, we've seen you like on Buddy vs. Duff on the Food Network. You release weekly kind of tutorials on how to make these hyper-realistic cakes that you make on your YouTube channel, Sideserf Cake Studio. How busy are y'all right now? Because we've been chatting, you're flying out to LA, even through like the pandemic and everything. Where can we be like checking you out sooner than later?
You know, we're incredibly busy. We make a new cake every week on our YouTube channel. So every Monday we post a new video and we control all of that, whether it's, you know, the cake itself and the editing and everything. So really that's like where a lot of our effort goes into. So that our YouTube channel is really where we are, but we're all over the place.
Yeah. And if you're wondering, B-DOE, what the hell are you talking about? If you've ever seen anything like on your timeline or your feed on any of your socials, and it looks like an actual head or an animal or an onion or anything, and then all of a sudden, whack, out of nowhere, a knife comes through, cuts it in half, and you realize, oh, that looks like a delicious cake. That's y'all.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy. I started gathering like all of my cake cutting videos where it's like an object and then they cut into it and it's a cake. So I have so many. I was like, it's insane. I have like a ridiculous amount of examples of this type of cake. So I'm going to put out a video soon just showing like a ton of cake cutting videos. Like it's going to go on forever.
Yeah, we should maybe split it up into a few different ones. And we'll see.
Yeah, maybe.
And I love that. And just to give props, Dave, you're not just the husband, you're also the baker, bro.
I do the baking, I do the editing. I try to keep up on social media as much as I can. And I try to keep just kind of on top of trends to make sure that we're kind of where we need to be
Hell
in
yeah.
all
Yeah.
corners of the internet.
For sure.
You can follow along with them at Sideserf Cakes on all your socials, and hang in there because Natalie and Dave brought in a little something just to celebrate Friday Luya, a real life. I don't want to give it away, but a cake. We'll just leave it at that, a cake, and we'll hear all about that and so much more. I want to find out about what's your next project. I need to be watching like a Sideserf Cake Studio reality TV show like yesterday. And hey, shout out to Jackie Vincent, also one of your biggest fans.
Yes, I love her.
We all love her around here.
She's amazing.
Love you, Jackie. She said, what's up? So more with the Sideserfs. We're talking cake on a Friday Luya coming up on KLBJ. Cool. So that was like just going back and forth. Does that make sense? We're still with you live out there on the stream. Let's go. A question for Natalie. What was the impetus after you graduated from college to move from conventional sculpting to cake sculpting?
A friend of mine asked, she used to watch those cake TV shows, and she's like, can you make a sculpted cake? And I told her, I've never done anything like that, but since I've used clay and plaster and sculpted with all these like traditional art materials, I gave it a try and I loved it. Then I realized that there was like potential to do more realistic work. And then that's really what kind of launched my whole career, really. It was about 10 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, see, somebody's asking about that other show right now.
Yes, yeah.
I don't even want to say it. I'll say it's out there on Netflix, but Miss Brenda says, when will you be on that show?
So
First of all, she says, I never would have believed that ramen cup is a cake. And I got to share a personal story. My 11-year-old daughter could eat ramen religiously 24/7, 365. I went up to her and I was like, hey, check this out. And I showed her. She's like, oh, ramen, yes. Wait, why is there a knife? No, what are you doing? Oh, my God. It's cake? Then we scroll through like a few more of the cuts, and she literally like smacked the phone out of my hand, hit the button to turn it off. She's like, I can't, my mind, I can't. Who is this priestess?
that's so amazing. I love it. I probably would have ruined her day. I'm like, here's ramen. And then it ends up being cake. And she's like, I liked ramen better.
Yeah, but I mean, let's talk about that other show because we've mentioned, if you follow along on the YouTube Sideserf Cake Studio, you put up those tutorials once a week. And then on that show that's out there, I see a lot of these cakes that I've already seen on your tutorials. What the actual hell, Natalie?
So I've been making, I call them still life cakes, but, cakes of objects for a while. And it's been about 5 years, or probably about 4 years I've been posting tutorials on my YouTube channel. So like I said, I have tons of examples of these cakes. And so when they started that show, everybody's like, why aren't you on it? And I'm like, nobody reached out to me. So I'm not on that show, but it's pretty much exactly what I do and what I've been doing for the past 5 years. It also says that it's inspired by the meme. There was a meme that was Everything is Cake back in 2020. And my cakes were part of that meme.
Yes.
So I was like, so in a way, the show is inspired by my work. It's just they called it a meme instead of like...
Sideserf Cake Studios. Hello.
Well, there was a very small handful of us making those particular kinds of cakes, and I had so many examples that it was just like everybody just started watching. They used them in all these different memes, and it was really funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, my work was part of the meme, and then the show is inspired by the meme. So I guess that's how I'm connected, but I'm not involved in the show at all.
Okay. But you are like a principal, I would say, like in the Buddy vs. Duff Food Network series and everything. How is working on reality TV?
What you don't really get from it, I feel like, is the fact that it's like really intense work. Like it's very, very long days, not a lot of days off, and it's it's just really, really hard work, especially when you're making cakes at such a large scale, like on Buddy versus Duff. But it's also
those things are like
actual
huge.
They're massive. They're like usually at least 6 feet, tall. They're huge. But I like that. It's because it's different. Because typically I work in such a small scale. It's fun to do something really large. So there's like the good and the bad, right? I would say the bad is that it's just like really intense and exhausting, but then it's totally worth it because you get to make really cool stuff and like hang out with really fun people.
Do you come home and watch them?
I do, but I usually only watch it once because it's very uncomfortable for me to watch myself.
Just because it's you?
Yeah.
I know, dude, I get it. It's like hearing your voice it's like,
yeah,
it's weird. People have that thing.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, why did I say that?
Dave, do you watch it?
Yeah, we watch it. So it's funny because like watching with Natalie, like she kind of relives it as we're watching it. And so the exhausting experience that she had before, I think kind of exhausts her just watching it, even though it's edited down and everything.
Yeah.
Fair.
I'll be like, oh, this happened at this time, blah, blah, blah.
30 seconds and we'll do another live break here. And do you want to bust that out when we're on air?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so hold on a second. More questions if you're... Okay. More questions if you're streaming us up there at KLBJ 937. So give us just 1 second to switch this over, and we'll be back literally in 10 seconds. Back live in studio. You're on air. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Natalie and Dave Sideserf from Sideserf Cake Studios here. We were just talking about kind of your TV experience on the Food Network with Buddy vs. Duff and those huge cakes that you create out there, whether you watch them or not. You said it's a little kind of unnerving to do that. I think we all kind of have that fear of hearing ourselves, watching ourselves, but I have to ask you, has any of this turned to work yet?
No.
No?
No. Like, there is that hint of work, but I'm so, like, thankful that I get to do something as insane as making, like, cake sculptures for a living.
Right.
That really, the appreciation is there. I think about it all the time. Dave does, too. We're like, we feel like we work really hard, but sometimes we're like, we can take a day off if we want, and it's almost like we're retired in a sense. But
That's the joke I always make, is that I retired, like, 4 or 5 years ago or whatever.
Because we have our own schedule.
Cool
Bless your heart, Dave. What is the next step, though? Because we talked about that other show that's inspired by a meme that has to do with people making cakes. You're not on it. They don't name drop you. Can you talk? Is there anything? When will we get like a Sideserf Cakes show?
I hope that we can come up with something, but I don't have anything in stone at the moment.
Okay.
We do have something that's being pitched, but that's about as far as we can get with it.
Okay.
But in the meantime, we're doing as much online content as we can.
Yeah, we have a YouTube channel. We put out a new cake every Monday, but I've also been kind of going on other people, like working with other content creators.
Yes.
So I was just on Twitch, this really well-known Twitch streamer. His name is Kit Boga, and I was just on 2 days ago, and we did this really fun stream, and I'll post it on Monday. We're posting the cake we made for it.
Cool.
But it's going to be a fun one.
Okay.
Like, it's a really neat. And if you can watch this stream too, it's a Kit Boga. I'll post that too on my social media. But yeah, it was just really, really fun. So it's been cool to like collaborate with other people like that are doing really fun, neat stuff.
Heck yeah. I want you to bust out what you brought here in 5 seconds. But first, since you're on the airwaves, and I love to like pay it forward, what would you guys say to that next generation of not only content creators, but I don't know, cake arters, or just whatever their passion might be to like get there?
You know, I think when you start something like this, you know, you really have to dive in. And at first you're going to fail a little, and you have to keep trying and don't let that kind of put you down. It's a little cheesy, but it's true.
Yeah.
And, you know, if it was easy, then nobody would care about it, right? So it's like if you just keep working and working, it'll pay off.
And
it just takes time.
Create.
Yes,
Just
even if
make
you
content.
Even if you're not like 100% like so incredibly perfectly proud of something, get it out there and let people see it. It's really worth it.
And you have to just go into it with thick skin. Maybe just don't even read the comments.
Yes.
Because they're not doing anything except typing.
You know, it's
You're
funny.
actually doing something.
It's funny that you say that because it's like you would think with cake that, you know, people are pretty, and most people are positive, but you'll get some people who want to say stuff and it's just like, you're just never going to get away from that.
Trolls can't help themselves,
Yeah,
Natalie.
and that's fine.
At Sideserf Cakes on Instagram and Facebook, you might see cakes like this. What'd you bring into the studio for a Friday Luya?
Okay, so I was thinking about bringing something normal, like a banana cake or a pepper cake, but then I was like, I'm just going to bring this guy.
Okay. Drum roll, please. Oh, my goodness. Wait a second. It's you.
I wanted to weird you out on a Friday, right?
Oh, my God. That is...
So
You are the queen of hyper-realistic cakes. The cake is ahead of Natalie Sideserf.
It is. It's a self-portrait cake. What's really fun about this is that I literally get to like look in the mirror while I sculpt it.
Yeah.
So if I'm making a cake of you, I need you to send me photos of every angle, make sure your outfit's the same and your hair's the same. But when I'm making a cake of myself, I could just like look in the mirror and make sure I get it all right.
Oh my God. You can check that out on Facebook at KLBJ937. Friday Luya, Natalie. Insane.
Lost a camera on the drum roll.
It fell down?
Yeah, that's okay.
Was it yours? Oh, now
so.
it's shot back at me. Roll was too extreme. That is insane. I got to see what that looks like. Put your head next to it again, Natalie. What the actual hell is going on?
That has to look so strange.
It does. Oh my God. And it is, people are saying she is the GOAT, a queen. It is absolutely incredible and super duper creepy and
Super
hilarious.
creepy, yes.
Thanks for sharing that.
See, that's what I like to hear. Like sometimes people are like, that's weird. And I'm like, I know. I know.
Now people are getting really weird. Tell the husband to kiss it. Goodness gracious, Natalie, well done. And okay, because you kind of brought it up earlier. That's kind of made, what is in there? Is that what's the filling that's always green? And why is
yes.
it? Traditionally, I've seen you do other colors and everything, but why normally is the inside green?
So this was actually Dave's idea, if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's so we get a lot of like people will cut our content a lot and put it into different compilations or whatever, and they don't necessarily share credit. And so we came up with the idea of using a abnormal color for the buttercream, so that if you see green buttercream anywhere in any of those compilations, you know it's one of ours. So it's kind of like it's a trademark kind of thing, but it's also like better than watermarking it because watermarks are kind of ugly. And so
they also get cropped out constantly.
Yeah, that's true too. And so we have the green buttercream.
People suck.
yeah, I'm like, yes. No, some are like really excited and happy to share that you made it, but some of them
But
just
it's
kind of
cool
want to
because now people
out.
see that. And so they'll put in the comments or whatever, hey, this is Sideserf Cake Studio. I can tell because of the green buttercream.
Yeah.
Okay. I always also see some of the comments. Looks great. What the hell does it taste like?
Right.
You're the baker, bro. Kind of stand up for your work.
Yeah.
Like
Like now? No.
No, you can sit down, but just share with your work. Like,
Yeah. So I actually, when I was going to school, I was working in kitchens, and so I've been cooking my entire life. So I kind of have a bit of a food background. So making the transition over to baking wasn't that huge of a leap.
yeah.
And so I have just a handful of recipes that are kind of tried and true. Use them every time, and and so we've done them so. I mean, I do at least a cake a week now, and I've put out so many. It's just we have a pretty good recipe that we are stuck with.
Yeah, and also like when it comes to the buttercream, we can change it too. So sometimes it's cream cheese filling, sometimes it's American buttercream, Swiss buttercream. There's different buttercreams you can use. So and you can flavor it too. Just because it's green doesn't mean it tastes like anything in particular.
Right, not yet anyway. We're working on that too, having like a signature kind of flavor.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, we make sure that our cakes taste good.
Yes. I can vouch.
What has been, I think I might know because you guys have posted about it, but what's been like the favorite reaction that you've seen in person to someone figuring out that what they were
Broken Spoke.
looking at is actually a cake?
We had a show called Texas Cake House where it followed Dave and I making cakes for people in Austin. That was on Food Network in 2017.
ATX represent.
Yeah, and it was awesome. We got to work with awesome companies in Austin. It was really, really fun. And one of them was we made the 50th anniversary cake for the couple at the Broken Spoke. And we made a cow skull, and we literally hung the cow skull on the wall. And their reaction, because they had no idea, it was like so good. They were just, that's a cake, like just so surprised.
They just thought it was a cow skull hanging on the wall for
Right.
Several hours until it was time to cut the cake, and they all walked over to the cow skull, put the knife in, and it was like, oh, we didn't know that this was a cake, even though it was sitting here the entire time.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Even that when we were trying to hang it, it was a little difficult because it's a cake. This guy came over and he's like, "Here, let me show you." And he grabbed it like by the horns and then realized, and I'm like, "It's a cake," and he just kind of freaked out.
Oh my
He's like, "Never
God.
mind, I can't help you." He thought we would just like couldn't figure it out. It was awesome.
What means more to you, the artistry, the baking, or the reaction? I mean, is it all kind of the same? What gives you the most joy out of the whole process?
I'd say as far as joy, the reaction, definitely.
Yeah, and for me, there's a lot of creativity in the editing that we do on YouTube. So it's kind of like it's cool because we can do whatever we want, you know.
Yeah, and we just really it's about what people like. Like it's not about like my hobbies. Like I'm not particularly a cow skull kind of person, but at the event it made total sense and like they appreciated it, and that's what I care about most.
Yeah. It also seems like, did you grow up doodling? Where did the truly artistic side of this, which is obviously needed? I know you put out tutorials, but like you're on a different level here.
Well,
Has this always been a hobby or a thing since you were little? Like
that art was always my thing
Yeah.
for sure. And then when I have a bachelor's degree in fine art, so when I was in school, I was doing more painting, which is helpful because you have to make the outside. You have to paint the outside with food color. But yeah, so like I've just been making art for so long. So treating cake like I would learning a new material, like what you have to learn how to use clay.
Yeah.
A teacher can tell you how to do it, but you really have to just dive in.
got to work it.
Yeah. So it's the same thing with cake.
I've seen Ghost.
Yes.
That's us
exactly.
at home, by the way.
Oh, I wasn't going to say anything, but husband Dave, well played.
We put the song on and everything.
Oh, nice.
It's great. It's great.
You've worked with so many great, influencers or like huge corporations. Adidas, the SpongeBob cake was insane. My little man loves that Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, like we've seen religiously probably every single season, 2, 3, 4 times. That T-Rex was outrageous. Whataburger, shout out to Whataburger. The ramen thing, and you just wrapped up working with Coach.
Yes.
It's a very high-end purse and accessory line. Well, a lot of people might not, Coach is very famous, but what is next? Like if you had, is there someone you want to partner with? Let's put this out there into the universe for you.
Something really what it is like I appreciate when people appreciate the cakes. So it's not necessarily that I want to work with someone specifically, but it's more like if it's somebody who gets it and is really like excited about it, that's really, it doesn't matter what honestly, it doesn't matter what level they're at as long as the appreciation's there and the understanding and you know, because I appreciate that they would come to me.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that they like my work and that I make, you know, what they want.
Hey, you guys have also put out there on the socials before, like, what should I make a cake of next?
Yes.
What would you like to see? So you can always hit them up at Sideserf Cakes on Instagram and Facebook to challenge this amazing, talented team. But Dave and Natalie, because you're the baker, you're the arter. Did we term that?
Arter,
Did we coin that now? The arter.
The arter.
Is there like a Mount Rushmore or something you haven't attempted? Is there a cake in y'all's mind that's like, man, someday we have to do this?
Wow.
Probably not yet. The thing is, because when we have those ideas, we usually make them right away.
Yeah.
And so,
Like, honestly, I can't think of anything in particular. I wish I had an answer for that, but I don't think I do. I think it's just kind of like what makes sense. What I really like doing is collaborating with like companies or, you know, other people making content. So like when there's a way that the two things can mesh really well together, that's when I get really excited. So I don't know that there's one particular thing as much as the idea of working with other people and getting the cakes out there. I really do like the idea of maybe I have a lot of cake cutting videos, but I love the idea of like getting them out in the world.
Yes.
And I kind of want to go in that direction where it's like, okay, so here's a cake of an object and like how do people on the street like perceive that? And
have you ever thought of
feel
doing
about
like a
it.
master class locally, like going through the process, like people pay to come hang at a bakery or something and you can go through a process of one of your tutorials from beginning to end?
We've done that in the past, and we do want to set those back up again. We had to take a break there for a couple years, but I think live classes, they're really fun, and like so you're in this really great environment because I'm just sitting there and I'm teaching people. They're really excited about it, and they're very successful at the end, so they're surprised by what they actually create. And really, at the end of the day, it's just like following me step by step. You can actually make these things. So some of them are more difficult than others, but for the most part, I pick ones that are doable, and it's really exciting for people. So
here is a square. Could you do one like that just for me? I think I could make that.
You'd be surprised how hard those are to ice.
Okay, what would be easy? Here is a glop.
Mac and cheese. I have a mac and cheese tutorial on my YouTube channel that
saw
looks
that.
legitimately like mac and
It
cheese.
sure did.
And it's really not too difficult. It's definitely one of the more simple ones. And it introduces you to like things like modeling chocolate. People assume I use fondant to cover my cakes, but they're actually all covered in modeling chocolate.
Yeah. I cannot hear the word modeling chocolate and not hear Buddy, is it Velasco?
Yeah.
The cake boss?
Velastro, yeah.
In his accent. Because it's like modeling chocolate.
Yeah. We were laughing. What is he? The Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
He's when we did the Star
Duff.
Wars.
Hey, Duff.
Duff. Yeah.
Oh, the Yoda was insane as well. So many great cakes.
you.
Brick and mortar, like, are people? Do you have enough time to fulfill cake orders? Is my question. Like, should we solicit? Like, if people want a cow skull for some anniversary, or what's the best way if there's a company that wants to hire you guys to do something like that? What's the best way to reach out?
So for companies, the best way to reach us is on our website. There's a contact form at sideserfcakes.com. But in terms of like mass production kind of stuff, we are trying to find a co-packer. So if there's somebody out there that's a co-packer or in the manufacturing area, we have some ideas that we'd like to discuss. We've reached out to a few. But that's very new, and it's an idea that we're trying to work through.
We have a great idea. It's just having it all come together.
Yeah.
But it would be because so many people reach out about wanting cakes, like all over really the world, but the country. So this would be like a way that we could actually like get out the cakes and deliver them.
In
so
an
that's what
accessible way.
rather than just me hand making everything just a little bit like larger scale.
Yeah. Putting that out to the universe.
Yeah, we really want to do that, and we know we have a way to make it happen. So we just need to actually like.
Well, best
get
of
in
luck
there
with
and do
that
it.
because
Thank you.
everybody needs a little piece of your head. So insane that is you. Is it weird to put all this time and energy into something like that and then you just eat it? It's gone. I mean, it lives forever on your YouTubes and your socials, but I mean, that's got to be a little weird.
It's my favorite part. Like, I love that I get to like, if you think about it, I'm turning like ingredients like Dave starts it off with like eggs and sugar and flour, right? You're making this.
Yeah.
You have all this stuff all scattered, and then all of a sudden it turns into something like this. All of a sudden, after some time, and it's just like I love the idea that people get to eat it, and then it disappears, and then it's gone, and I move on to the next one.
Man, that is true. Y'all are true artists if you can okay, it's the universe's now. Like all that hard work, blood, sweat, eggs, and tears, and then it's like.
Well, I used to when I first started, I was a little bit more like, oh, it's kind of sad. But now it's just like, I'm just making them and making them and making them. Make so many that it doesn't bother me.
Do y'all want to hang out for like another 90 seconds? We can just pop back on air and you can say bye to Austin live and everything and wish them all a Friday-luya.
Yeah.
Friday-luya, Rowdy Rockers. Follow along with them at Sideserf Cakes on Instagram and Facebook if you're not already. Sideserf Cake Studio on YouTube. And every Monday, you guys put out a brand new kind of how-to tutorial.
Yep. Yeah, and we're on Instagram. That's where we keep all of our cake cutting videos. Yeah. So if you just want to see a ton of cake cutting videos, which people really like, that's the place.
TikTok too.
Yes, TikTok too.
Instagram,
you're on the
Facebook.
Ticks and Talks?
We're on everything. The Ticks and Talks.
Bless your hearts. Too much for me. We talked off air.
It's a lot of work.
I think me and you share that same kind of social media, privacy, all that stuff.
Yes.
But again, in this day and age, if you're not putting that out there, it's just a missed marketing opportunity for you.
Yeah, for sure.
And don't be weird to them. Be sweet out there, you trolls.
It's okay to be weird.
Yeah.
I mean, be weird. Don't cross the lines. Like
I've
Eric.
heard most of it.
Eric. Israel wants husband Dave just to kiss the cake head. Eric. Quickly, do you have a favorite cake that you've made in the past?
What do you think?
One that just pops off?
My favorite? I don't know. I think these selfie cakes are pretty funny.
Yeah, anytime
that we
you
even
make
call them
a
selfie
cake
cakes.
of a person, those are probably the most they're the weirdest.
They are, especially. Hold on. I'm going to save that for air, which we'll go back to here in 10 seconds. Hang out with us. We're not done yet. We got a couple minutes left celebrating Friday-luya with the Sideserfs. Excellent. Wrapping things up with Natalie and Dave from Sideserf Cake Studios. Thank y'all so much for hanging with your brother B-DOE on a Friday-luya.
Thanks for having us.
Did you answer the question? Because I asked you, do you have an all-time favorite cake? Was it the selfies or the pets or something like that?
I think it's just the people cakes.
Yeah.
Portrait cakes, yeah.
Portrait cakes.
What kind of dog was that white dog?
That was a bulldog.
It was a bulldog. Damn you, Natalie. Damn you, Dave.
I want to say, though, I love bulldogs. We used to have a white bulldog, and we loved her so much. So it was meant to be like an
homage.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care what it was for. I was like, no!
I know.
Like that and the Bruce Willis cake, when you cut into it and then the ear jiggled, it was so freaking real.
And that was for Christmas, that Bruce Willis cake. It was a Die Hard cake.
Die Hard, man,
yeah.
yes. I think, and that's what brings me so much joy, and a lot of your fans out there, is it is so hyper realistic that you are literally seeing one thing and then it's in front of your eyes being cut into, and your brain is like, I don't understand what's happening in front of me.
That's my favorite part, for sure. I love that you get that reaction from people, whether they love it or hate it. I appreciate all reactions.
Well, Natalie, thank you for bringing in your head. Literally, it's a cake head. You can check it out by checking out our Facebook at KLBJ937. That is so insane. Dave, great job baking it, bro.
Of course.
Follow along with them at Sideserf Cakes on Instagram and Facebook. And of course, every Monday they put out a new how-to video at their YouTube channel, Sideserf Cake Studio. You guys want to do any Friday-luya shout-outs or say hi to anybody in the ATX?
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone in Texas.
Everyone in Texas. Hello from Sideserf Cakes. And Friday freaking Luya, Rowdy Rockers. Appreciate y'all so much and continued success. Can't wait to see the Sideserf Cake Studio reality show sometime, hopefully sooner than later.
Sounds good to me.
Rock and roll, y'all.
There she goes. Natalie Jr.
Got her nose bumped in the...
Oh my God. I got one last
Hold it.
quick little thing here. Okay. Just for posterity, even if we lost like some viewers there, we can go back and edit that together for this.
Okay.
Because I just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedules. And I know we've kind of been working on this, going back and forth for a while. Truly wish you the most success because, dude, talk about just cool human beings. Like, that's who we need to help amplify, especially from Austin, Texas, man. So let's get that out there into the universe. What was it that you need? Not the packing plant, but
Like a chocolate co-packer. Or,
a co-packer.
Yeah.
If you're out there, best of luck with the pitches for your own show. I mean, the world needs to see this family do it, not some, can I just say, whack-ass production with a whack host and stolen ideas, Netflix, from a meme. Give me a break. It's all about Sideserf Cake Studios, y'all.
That's right.
Sideserf Cakes on Instagram and Facebook. I wish y'all the continued success and a happy Friday-luia. And I just want to get your opinion. They do a how-to tutorial every Monday. Sideserf Cake Studio. Follow them on YouTube. Give them the like, the share. Smash that like button. I need your opinion on this.
No, that's perfect.
That's
Did you bring a cake?
potentially too perfect.
I ain't even gonna try. They're the professionals. Follow along with them at Sideserf Cakes. You know, I need to put some adult beverage in those cups. That's what your brother B-DOE needs. Follow along with me at B-DOE Rocks. Have a great weekend. Friday-luia, Sideserfs.
Friday-luia.
Say goodbye to everybody.
I loved that.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for rocking. Have a great